Hey guys, welcome back. So in this video we are going to see how to make the wish list in our Laravel e-commerce. So here I have just logged in as a user. This product I want to add it to my wish list. So when I click add to wish list, nothing is happening. So we are going to make how to store this in our wish list, and we will be adding a icon over here. Sorry, a nav item cart we will be having a wish list over here, and it will be similar to the cart, but we will be able to add it to the cart, not check out from the wish list. So let's start with the coding part. So first let us create a URL, so a route. So that is not going to be an admin thing, it is going to be an authenticated one. So only a logged in user can view his wish list. So for that we are going to say route get, just zoom in over here and close the sidebar, get wish list, and here we will be having the wish list controller. So I'll just create it first. So open your terminal, say php artisan make controller. So this is inside the users folder, right? So you can check over here inside your app http controller. So here inside this front end, so we need the wishlist controller here. Say frontend slash wishlist controller. Hit enter and you can see controller created successfully. So here wishlist controller class and index, add a semicolon at the end, copy the function name and go to your wishlist controller. Here create a function index, and we are not passing anything in this. They're going to return a return view. So this is inside the resources views front end. So you have your cart blade, right? So similarly we will be having the wish list. So if you need, you can just create a folder and keep a wish list file in that. So we have only one file, right? So I'm just keeping it outside. Say wishlist.blade.php. So let us just copy the design from the cart page, copy that and close the file, paste it in the wish list, and in the wish list controller I'm going to say frontend dot wish list semicolon, and this wish list URL we need to add it in our navbar. So let us go to the layout. We can get that from here itself, on the front navbar, and here it is. So after the not my orders, here it is, the cart, we will be adding the wishlist URL. Copy and paste, just paste it over here, and the title is going to be wishlist over there. Save. So let us check the output, go and refresh. So you can see wishlist over here. Let us click on that and wishlist, so undefined variable. So this is the content we are going to create that. So where is it? Wishlist. We'll just remove this thing so we don't get confused. Yes, save my wishlist, and this is the banner thing which we have the breadcrumbs. Say wish list. So this one you can see, right? So this is that breadcrumb which we just changed. So now let us create the model and migration for this wish list. So we will be able to add. So go to your controller first, and here we need to call the model. Open your terminal and say php artisan make model. So this is the wishlist model, right? So say wishlist -m. So even the migration will be created along with this. Hit enter and you can see the model and the migration is created. So let us check in the folder. So here it is in the models. The wishlist model is over here, and the migration also would be created over here. Inside the database migrations, so you can see it is the wishlist table. So in this wishlist we are going to keep the product ID, so it will be similar to the cart, so we can just take it from there. I think this is the cart. Yeah, so this is the cart. So here we have the user ID, product ID, and the product quantity. So if you need, you can keep the product quantity, but I don't think it's required, so I'm just leaving it. So product ID and user ID. So the same thing we are going to add it in the model also. The model over here, wishlist, and say protected $table. It's going to be wishlist. Say protected $fillable. Within single quotes add your field names. So it is the user ID and the prod ID. Save. So you can see here this is the prod ID. So you can close this, and now let us migrate it. So open your terminal and say php artisan migrate. So the wishlist table is migrated. So now let us fetch it over here. Say $wishlist is equal to wishlist where the user underscore ID is equal to the authenticated user's ID. Say get, and this thing we are going to pass it over here within a compact function. Compact, and here we are going to check if, so just add symbol over here, add if $wishlist. So if there is something in this, only then we are going to show, at else, and then we are going to end if over here, and if. So if there is something, we are going to show the wish list, else we are going to show the wish list is empty, or you can say there is no products in your wish list. Card, say dot card body. So card body is common for both of them, so if it is there or not, we will need the card body. So I am keeping it at the outside of this if else condition. Here let us say h4, there are no products in your wish lists. So for now we have not added anything in our wish list, so this is the message we are going to get over there. Let us check. So go to your output, refresh, and here you can see wish list. And there is something auth not found, we need to import that. Import class, wish list is imported, yes. Refresh. Wish list does not exist. Let us just check in our database. Refresh. So here wish list. Okay, I think I just misspelled it in the model. So So inside your models wish list, here I have to give it wish lists, so I forgot to add that yes, so that is why we got that error. Let's refresh, and here it is. It's greater than 0, only then show this, else show this. Just check, refresh, and here it is, guys. There are no products in your wish list. So I've just used this count function. If there is anything in this, only then it will show that, else there are no products. So here what we are going to show is nothing but the table view of our items in our wish list. So how we have shown in the cart, right? Similarly we are going to show it over here. So first let us write the code to add the products in our wish list. So let us go to our product index page, product view. Yes. So here we have the add to wish list button. So we will add a class over here, say add to wish list. Copy that class and go to your script file. Oh, I have kept it inside the public frontend JS custom.js. So here you can see we have the add to cart button, right? So I'll just place it below that. So say JQ click, paste. So add to wish list, and here you can see we have taken this product ID and product quantity to store in our cart. So here we are going to take the product ID, so that is going to be the same, paste product ID, and we are not bothering with the product quantity, and that's it. So just copy this JQ Ajax and paste it over here. So instead of add to cart, we are going to send to the URL of add to wish list, and this time we are just sending the product ID. So let us create a URL like this, copy that and go to your web.php and just say route get add to wish list. This is going to be wish list controller class comma the add function. So one more thing in this, guys, add to wish list, this we are doing with jQuery, right? We are not using the page refresh in this, so this thing will throw an error. So if the user is not authenticated and is trying to add to wish list, so we will not get the error message, or we will not be redirected. So for that we need to keep this thing outside this middleware of auth. So inside this controller we will check the authentication. So this wish list thing, we are refreshing the page, right? So there it will check. So if the user is not authenticated, it will redirect him to the login page. So let us create this add function in our wish list controller. Say function add, and in this we are sending the request $request. So first we are going to check if the user is authenticated or not. Say if auth check. So if the user is authenticated, then we are going to check, else we are going to send a message, please log in to continue. So here if the user is authenticated, right, we need to check if the product he is trying to insert in his wish list is really existing in our website. So we will be checking the product ID in our products table. So if product model find $ID, we are going to check, say $prod ID. So this prod ID we need to create it. Say $prod ID equal to $request of input of the custom JS. You have this product ID, right? So we are going to take the input from there, and if the product ID exists, Then we are going to insert it in our wish list. $wish is equal to new wish list $wish of product ID is equal to $prod ID, and the $wish of user ID is equal to the authenticated users ID. So import this auth class over here, and then say $wish of save. So if the user is not authenticated, we need to send a message, right? So that we will just take it from the cart controller. So from our cart controller, you can see over here we had done the same thing. Save and this thing, login to continue. Yeah, just copy that and paste it over here. If the product does not exist, right? So if product is there, then we are inserting, else send a message that, just remove this, product does not exist, After the product is inserted in our wish list, we need to send a message over here also. So just copy this and paste. So say product added to wish list, save, and in the custom JS you can see we have already given the sweet alert response.status. So now let us test our code. Refresh and go to your home, open a product and say add to wish list. So there is no action. Let us inspect. So in your console, add to wish list, it says 405 method not allowed. Okay, I think we have given the get or post method. Some issue with that. So this is get. No, this is the post method, right? Post add to wish list. Refresh and say add to wish list. Console, there is some error. Let us check. Undefined class check. Go to code and auth check function. Refresh and say add to wish list. Still there is some issue. Okay, this product not found, we need to import that. So here it is, product model, import. So now it should be done. So I add to wish list, and yeah, product added to wish list. In our wish list, you can go over here and check. So see, we are not getting that message that your wish list is empty because there is a product in this. Now let us just display that. So go to your wish list page. Here we can just take the design from the cart page. So what I'll do is I'll just close everything first. We've got too many pages over here, and open the wish list and the cart blade file. Say Control B. So here we'll just copy this and paste it inside our wish list. So here we are not going to show any total price and all. Just remove that. This cart body we have already given it outside the if condition, so I'll just remove that also. So we're not calculating any total for here. Remove that, and instead of cart items, go to your wishlist controller, arranger thing, and app HTTP controllers frontend wishlist. So this wish list, just copy that and change this cart items as wish list, and then we will have this thing items products. We need to give the relationship, right? So we'll go to the wish list model. So inside your models wish list, you can just copy it from the cart or order thing. Just copy, close the file and paste it over here. So this product ID belongs to the product tables ID, so that will be enough to fetch the record. And then the product name, product selling price, we are not keeping any quantity, so just remove that. This is the out of stock or available thing, right? So you can just leave it, but this increment and decrement thing we are just removing. I'm going to say H6 in stock, or you can say available, and this thing you can say remove, delete cart item. We'll just change this class name, or else this thing will work for the cart also. So let us check the output, go and refresh. So here it is. Let me just add one more product, say add to wish list, and here it is. So here we need to give the add to cart button, copy that and paste it over here. So I have column empty 2, 3, so 5, 7, 10 and 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reduce it 2, and this will also be 2. Okay, so column empty 12 will be done. Refresh and here it is. So just you're going to change this button and say add to cart, and this symbol we are going to change FA shopping cart and BTN success. Refresh. So for this add to cart we are not going to write separate code, we will use that same what we already have. So for that we need to add some classes over here. So first let us go to the script, and you can see here in your public assets frontend JS custom JS, you have it over here, right? Add to cart button, it will find the product data and the product ID. So we need to create an outer div of product data. I'll just copy that and say in your wishlist blade, so product data and the product ID. So we already have the product data over here. In this row we have given that class, and the product ID we need to give it somewhere inside this. So it's already over here, just because we copied it from the cart page, right? So we already have it. So if you don't have this, if you have a new design, just make sure you have given these things, these two class names, and this same thing will be working for your add to cart also. Refresh, say add to cart, and you can see, just inspect and check, inspect console. Okay, there's no error. We haven't added the class name, I guess, to this. That button, yeah. So we need to add this class name, right? Add to cart, paste and refresh. So let us just check my cart first. Here I already have Redmi K20 Pro, so it will say already available in the cart, and the other thing which we have formal shirt, that will be added over here. Wish list, let me say add to cart, already added to cart, and this thing if I say add to cart, it will add it. Inspect, go to your console, okay, let us check what's wrong. Okay, so this error is that the quantity cannot be empty. You can see we have not given the product quantity, right? So we'll just leave it like that, what we already had, right? So we'll just copy it from the cart blade. So if you want, you can just give a input type hidden, and default value you can just insert, refresh, and here you can see we have this change quantity class, right? This thing we had added for the cart update while the checkout time. So here we don't have to store that, right? So we are not going to update that. So I'll just remove that class, and we are just incrementing or decrementing that value. So just refresh and just increment to 3 and say add to cart. This is already there in the cart, right? So I'll just increment this to 2 and say add to cart, and it is added to my cart. Let us check, and here it is with 2 quantity over here. So in this wish list we are not storing this quantity, just when you are adding that, right, we need to increase this. So once you refresh, this thing is gone. You can see this value we have, right, for this input item of product quantity. We are not storing any quantity in our this thing wish list, so default we can keep it as 1. So just remove this double curly braces and say 1, save, and you can check, just refresh, and you will get it over here as 1. So we have done with this add to cart thing. So now we will do this remove item from your wish list. So for that we'll go to our code, and here you can see this remove button, right? So add a class over here, remove wishlist item, and copy that thing, copy and go to your custom JS, and you can see in your remove cart item below that just say JQ click, and within single quotes with a dot paste this. So we are giving dot because this is a class name, not an ID. So here you can see we have taken the product ID and given delete cart item. So let us just copy this and paste it over here. We just need to send the Ajax call, copy that and paste it. So delete cart item, we're going to replace it with delete wishlist item. Just copy that and create a URL in your web.php. Route post, and we have the wishlist controller class delete item within single quotes and add a semicolon at the last. Copy the function name and go to your wishlist controller, paste the function name over here, and here we are passing a ID, $ID. So the video is getting too extended, so I'll just copy this code from the cart controller. Have your delete item over here, right? So if auth check, copy that and close, just paste it over here. So I'll quickly explain this. So if authenticated is checked, we are taking the product ID. So here it's not $ID, we are taking it through request. So say $request, so request of input of product ID. So this thing is coming from here, this prod ID, we are passing it over here, yeah. So we are storing it and checking in our wish list. Say wish list where product ID is equal to this and authenticated user ID is equal to the user ID column exists. If there is a product like this in our wish list, wish is equal to wish list where prod ID and user ID, first record we are taking that, and delete that record and say product deleted, or you can say item removed from wish list. Just remove that successfully. So we'll just go back to our custom JS, and once it is done we are just reloading that page, and here what it is, swell response.status, and we are going to show the success icon. So refresh, and I'll just remove this item, the Redmi K20 Pro. So remove, and you can see product removed from wish list, and it has been refreshed. So that's it in this video, guys. We have seen how to add the product to our wish list, and how to add to cart from our wish list, and how to remove the item from our wish list. So thank you for watching this video, guys. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.